Bold stories, cinematic vision. What's your medium? An art canvas, music, the open road. Who defines how stories are told? Writing, photos, rhythm, movement. This is where dreams and visions collide. This is legacy built through vision.
Alright, y'all gonna have to get the drum some. Not really. Yeah, look. This is for my brothers who was with me when we was on the corner band when we had to split EBT. Now they know me for sure around Mama, Sweden, and Florence, Italy. I was just down in Savannah for 6 months, taking the ferry back and forth to Greece. I told them that book was coming, I treated it like an album. This is my debut release. I just landed in. About to. How you say you're from Penn Ave, but on Bushwick? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people all over the world, welcome to the House of NIXON web series. I am your humble and grateful host, and I go by the name of Nixon. Y'all could be anywhere in the world tonight, but y'all are here with me, and I appreciate that. Not really, I do. This is the first episode. Hi, hey, ciao. As an introduction to my English-speaking friends, my Swedish friends, and my Italian friends, and my Albanian friends, because in southern Albania, they do speak Italian. Fun fact. Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Yeah. Oh, man. This is great. We are here in Malmö, Sweden, man. We've been here for a little bit. Just left America not too long ago. And I'm back. I got some things I got to take care of before I head to Florence. And yeah, man, this is it. This is the first episode. And we're recording from our Airbnb. It's a small Airbnb. I'm sure y'all can see my little kitchenette in the back. It's European style, but you know, we're making it work. We're making it work, man. And that's basically what this episode's about making it work, right? So we have a lot of fun things in store for you all. You know, later on, we're going to talk about the most important thing, which is the Everborn Chronicles, Book 1, The Everborn, which is my debut novel, which is coming out first quarter of 2026. Oh, man. And I can't wait for y'all to read that. It is exciting. The series is exciting. It is a dark urban fantasy, I should say. Adult literary fantasy with themes of horror and theology. So this is what they will call low fantasy. So hate to spoil it for people, but you're not going to see any dragons or any magical spells and stuff like that. It is urban fantasy, so it takes place in the real world, right? So it takes place here in Malmö, Sweden. This is the place that gave me the inspiration for the book. But yeah, that's for another episode. We're gonna get into all of that, because the journey, right? The journey from how we even got to Sweden to writing the book to this company, how it started, House of NIXON. And like all great stories, you have to start from the beginning. So that's what we're going to do today. This first episode is really all just about who I am, what the company is, and what it is that we're doing. I think there's a misconception. In fact, I know there's a misconception on what my company is. So that's exciting because people really don't know. So now they're about to find out. You got to tune in, man. Stay locked in. And we got some things for y'all. And, you know, we're going to talk about the publishing industry. social media, more so social media authors, reviewers, influencers. Yeah, I got some things to say about that. But we're going to talk about that, and we're going to do this commentary style. So my hope is that you guys actually learn something, learn why I went the indie route, and why I didn't go with traditional publishing. And for all you out there, I like to tell people, this isn't self-publishing, this is self-production, because the way that we're doing things, the way that we're running it is very different from just an author who writes a book and then they just put it out there into the world and just hope for the best. We have systems in place, things that we've done, and we've done everything so that way it runs as a traditional publisher. We just don't have the budget that they do, but we keep the same standards and discipline and timelines. Maybe we move a little bit quicker, but we do everything that they've done, or that they do, that standard practice. That's what we've done for our product. And yeah, this is a company for creators who actually want to create, not chase algorithms and play the social media game. A lot of that to me is performative. It's fake. It's nonsense. It's noise. A lot of people confuse noise for production, for moving forward. So, we'll get into all that. But yeah, again, thank you. Thank you for being here. If you are still tuned in and you're watching this video, you know what I'm saying? I think we are about a few minutes in. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. So let's get into it, right? So, first and foremost, who am I? As I said before, I go by the name of Nixon. Um, that's my last name, obviously. And the only reason why I go by one name is because I have my military friends and people outside of the military who just call me Nixon for whatever reason. They don't call me by my first name. Now, I got some who do, or they call me by my middle name. Um, I have lots of names, so I think some of it is just people are confused, and Nixon is just easier. And back in the days when I used to rap, as y'all can see, I still got it. I still got bars. I got bars. But back in the day when I used to rap, I used to just go by my last name, Nixon, because it was easy for me to do a little play on words. And people who know my old social media handle, my presidential lifestyle, I actually got that name from Fabulous the Rapper. Because back in the days, people used to always say, "Hey, you rap like Fab, you sound like Fab, you like a little Fab," and his Instagram handle is My Fabulous Life, and I just copied it, and it was My Presidential Lifestyle. So, cat's out the bag for anyone who didn't know that, who didn't catch on to that. Um, so yeah, so I just go by one name, and I like it. So that's just everything that we're doing, but. Yeah. So who am I? So as y'all know, I had stated I was in the military at one point, and we'll start from there. We're not going to go too far back because that story is exhausting. So, in the words of Joe Budden, a long story, less long. Right? We're trying to move through this. So yeah. After the military, I was working on a bunch of different ranches, a bunch of different farms in the United States. I was training 2-year-old horses, quarter horses. And then I went up to a place in West Virginia where I was working up there, training some horses, doing reining. And I was also learning how to do level 1 dressage. And it's interesting because level 1 dressage is very simple and is actually the way you should ride a horse versus cowboying it up. But that's a debate for another show. But the dressage riders would call up the Western guys because we were strong enough to hold these horses, their heads up. There were OTTBs, off the track thoroughbreds. So they got these heavy heads, and they will have me get on there, and I will hold the horse's head up right? Make sure that there's contact into the bit. So that was my life for a while. I was in, like I said, West Virginia, North Carolina, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. And after Tennessee, I came back home. My knees were just shot. My body was just broken down from the military. I had a back injury, had some knee injuries. So I was just done. And there's no money in the horse world, right? Unless you own the horse. But as far as the people that are training the horses, we really don't make money at all. So I was done. I was out. And I decided that I was going to go into the financial industry, right? So I started off at New York Life. I was selling life insurance. I got licensed with my 6 and 63. Eventually went off to a small town bank as a personal banker. And then I made my way to Chase Bank. I was working on the retail section of Chase Bank. I was out in Logan, West Virginia, which is about, I don't know, 40 miles to 50 miles, something like that, from Charleston, West Virginia. I was there for 18 months, something like that. I wasn't there long. Something happened. I caught a great break, and I got the call one day, and they're like, "Hey, we think you should go into commercial banking. You should go up to the middle market. There's a position open if you want it. You just got to interview." So I was like, "Yeah, of course, sign me up." They was paying double my salary that I was making on the retail side. So I did the interview, and that's how I ended up in Dallas, Texas. I got the job, packed up my stuff, and we went down to Dallas. And I love Dallas. Yeah, Dallas is home for me. Love that place. So I was in Dallas at this point. I went from the Chase side of the bank to the JP Morgan side of the bank, and now I'm dealing with institutional customers, right? And then I moved over to Fifth Third Bank after I get a phone call, and they wanted me to come through. Saw my resume. My manager at the time, he talked to me. He liked me. He was very fascinated about my horse background and my military background. So I ended up joining their team. It was an expansion. Did that for a while, and then I got tired of the corporate side of things. I wanted to move over to more of the personal side, so I went over to UBS and I was working in wealth management. I was with the high network team, and it's crazy because the day I got hired was the day that they acquired Credit Suisse. So the whole structure of the company changed, and the dude that hired me was no longer my manager. So I showed up, and the whole time I was working at UBS, I technically didn't have a manager. It was very weird, um, which explained a few things. So fast forward, my buddy, I was in his wedding, and him and his family, they were having a little girl. And at this point in time, I was kind of just always on the move since I was a child, and I never really just settled down anywhere. And I was in his wedding, and then I saw that they were about to have a kid, and I was in Dallas, and really Dallas only had business contacts except for my one homeboy. Shout out to him. I'm not gonna say any names on this web series. Maybe once I get permission, I don't know, but he knows who he is. D. We used to ride bikes together, and I was just like, man, I gotta go because I was already flying back and forth to Orlando from Dallas, and I have another homeboy out there, and I got some friends out there. So at the time, it just made sense for me to go. So I left, went down to Orlando with no job because the job I was supposed to get, or no one's supposed to get anything, but the job that I was interviewing for that sounded like I was going to get it, they called me and were just like, yeah, sorry, that whole thing. So anyway, now I get down to Florida, boom, no job, right? And I just bought basically this brand new GMC Denali, fully loaded. Man, life is crazy. Uh, But I was there, and basically it was like another year and a half, and I didn't have a job. So it was crazy. But I ended up meeting someone who's from Sweden, and I went to go visit her in November of 2024. So I landed in Sweden November 2024. And I remember we were walking through this park in Malmö, and out of nowhere, the story for the Everborn Chronicles just hit me. I don't know what it was. I didn't really know what I was thinking. It just boom. And it's one of those things where, like, when you know, in anything in life, right? So I kind of just sat on the idea, but every day the idea just kept building, kept building, kept building, it kept drumming. And I would never forget, it was December 3rd. And the reason why I remember these dates, because they're so important. And December 4th is Jay-Z's birthday. He has a song on the Black album called December 4th. So I would never forget the date, because I felt like it was just divine timing, if you would. So I remember I woke up December 3rd, went to the pool, went to go swim, and I'm on the bus. I'm coming back, and the idea is playing in my head, the plot. And it's getting overwhelming. And I sat there and I said to myself, listen, at this point in time, either you're going to write the story or just stop thinking about it. Those are your only options. So, December 3rd, I decided, fuck it. We're about to write this book. December 4th was the day I started writing the book. And as they say, the rest was history. So that's how the book came about. Now, how the company came about was interesting, because I didn't want to just be a self-published author. That doesn't do it for me, right? Especially once I decided that I was going to do this full time. Like, I'm taking the chance on this. This is what I'm going to do full time for the foreseeable future, right? I said I had to start a company. I need my own publishing company, so that way I could own everything, right? Do it the Nipsey Hussle way. Create leverage. Own everything. Ownership. That was the whole point. And then as the company started growing and starting evolving, excuse me, it became more than just a publishing company. Now it was like, no, this is a creative studio, because we're doing much more than just writing books. We're writing TV scripts. We're, attending all these other different shows. We're doing so much more, and it just encompasses all art. So House of NIXON, yes, one leg of the company is a small press that's publishing my book, but it's a creative studio. And um our I guess the word would be, our shift to market or whatever, is a little bit different than what other authors do, right? We're not just writing and then posting some ebook on what's it called, on Kindle, Amazon KDP, whatever the case, whatever those ebooks things are, right? We're not doing that. We're performing like a traditional publisher, just on a smaller scale, but we're holding the standards. And for me, even outside of the book, just standards and discipline is so important. Being intentional is so important. And month after month, I had my goals on what I was going to do for my company and how I was going to move the book forward. And we stuck to those goals. And the reason why it took month after month after month is because the whole thing is fully funded by me, by myself, right? There are no handouts. I'm taking the full risk myself to prove the concept that I can have the market and the following and that I have a story that traditional publishers want. Because for me, it's not about bypassing traditional publishing just so I could go write some BS. No, it's write something great, prove your worth by getting your own fan base, which you're going to have to do anyway. You take the risk, you put the money up, and then you approach the labels, not the labels. I'm still on my rapper tip. You approach the publishers with something concrete. And speak about labels. So I do have another episode that's coming out. It's called The Publishing Game and the Rap Game. And I actually go into detail about how the two are actually the same thing. Y'all gonna like that one. But yeah, man. So we did all this, and why? One, it was for leverage, but it was also to stop waiting for permission. Too many people are addicted to tomorrow, Friday, the weekend, next week, next month, when I get my next paycheck, 6 months from now, next year. I'm waiting for the new year to start. And then next thing you know, it's 3, 5, 7 years down the road and nothing has changed. Why? Because you're waiting for perfect conditions. There are no perfect conditions. This web series, I don't know what I'm doing. Hell no. I'm just a dude with a microphone. This first episode probably sucks. It's probably trash. I'm probably rambling. I don't care. Because what I could promise you is that I'm going to get better. The second episode is going to be better. And the third. And the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh and on and so on and so forth. Because the point is to build now and refine as you go. Right? Build the plane as you're trying to fly it. Jump out of the plane as you're trying to figure out the parachute. Walk the road before the road is even built. All of those metaphors that you hear time and time and time again. And it's so crazy, right? Because Nike, remember that saying? I don't know if it's still their saying, but their tagline was 3 words, right? The most simplest 3 words that I've ever heard. Just do it. And it sounds so easy. And I don't think people truly understand the power of those 3 words. Just do it. You're either doing it or you're not. It really is that simple. Reading about doing it is not doing it. Watching videos on how to do it is not doing it. Studying for I was about to cuss. Studying for months on end is not doing it. Talking to your friends is not doing it. That group chat is not doing it. Plotting while you're drinking and having all these grand dreams about doing it is not doing it. Too many people have too much talk and not enough do. All right? Execute. You need to execute. Set your intentions and execute. It really is that simple. And you know what? If you F it all up, so what? Move on to the next. You have to stop waiting to get permission. You have to stop waiting for these perfect conditions, right? Obviously, do your due diligence, do your math. But then if you want it to happen, if you want it to work, you're going to do it. I didn't wait for permission. There's another reason why I didn't go traditional publishing. Because when I saw the query trenches, I was in there for 2 weeks before I was like, nah, this ain't it. The better way is to create it yourself, prove that you could do it yourself, and then approach them. That way you have something that you could call yours instead of just pulling up with nothing but a manuscript and you're an unknown author. How dare you? And then for all of you indie authors out there, you social media warriors, right? Like Drake said, like RB Graham said, y'all made me sick to my stomach, fam. Nah, for real, y'all make me sick to my stomach, right? You're writing these books, you're not getting professional editors. Oh, I don't have the money for a professional editor. Then don't put the book out. Then don't put the book out. If you don't have money for a professional editor, don't put the book out. Stop being in a rush to get the book out. Get off of Canva and stop with these book covers that are all cookie cutter, that all look the same. I swear there's no originality anymore. Go get a professional designer, pay the money, and get it done. Yeah, but Nixon, that's not even cost effective. I won't even make all that money back. You're right. I'll tell you right now, my first book, I'm not going to make any money off of that. I'm operating out of the red, right? So, first of all, I was in Saranda, Albania for 6 months. That was after I was in Sweden for 3 months. So I was out of the country for 9 months. That was that trip was not planned. It was not planned for 9 months. It was supposed to be a 2-week vacation, right? And so I didn't have a laptop. My whole first novel is written on an iPad. The editing was done on an iPad, and then I sent it off to my editors. They send it back, and then I send it back to them, and then they send it back, and then I send it back out to them again for the third time, and then they send it back, and then I send it out to the beta readers, and then they send it back. The book design was done on a laptop in collaboration with my boy Di. Shout out to Di. I can't wait to show y'all the book cover. He does great work. But that whole first novel was written on an iPad. Why? Because I couldn't wait for perfect conditions. Just get it done. I'm recording in this small Airbnb. Why? Because I have to. Because the train keeps moving. And disclosure, this is actually the second time I'm recording this video. Because the first time I recorded the video, I was actually in Orlando. I was in Orlando, Florida when I recorded the first video. And it was good. It was actually a good video. But since then, things have changed. Man, things have changed. And I have a lot more to say. A lot more. So, I said, fuck it. We're going to get on here, and then we're going to record it. I guess I just cussed. And I wasn't trying to. I was trying to keep it PG, but, it is what it is. These web series are just recorded, unfiltered, unedited. They are what they are. So... There's gonna be some mistakes, some fumbling over words, but that's part of the journey, man. And I'm excited for it. But yeah, man, attention is everything. Everything in life. Stop waiting for perfect conditions, man. And my company is going to keep evolving as time goes on, and my books are going to keep evolving. Right now, I'm working on the second book, and the series is so crazy because it's not what you think, and it falls under fantasy because that's just where it has to. But when I say it's low fantasy, I mean it's low fantasy. This is grounded in realism, and if you took the supernatural pieces out of the book would just read as just a book, because the message, the themes, the structure of the book is all the same. And that's what we do here at House of NIXON. We architect an immersive experience, right? Oh, damn. That's where I was at. The cost. Yo, hold on. The cost, yeah. So I didn't have an iPad. I mean, I didn't have a laptop. Now I have a MacBook. But you know me, well, anyone who knows me, I couldn't just get the regular MacBook. I had to go get the best of the best. So that was almost 2,800 right there, out the gate. The book design, the editors, the beta readers, the website, the company filing the paperwork for the company creation, doing all of that stuff, and I had to learn a lot of things on the go. And let me tell you something about creating a website. This is my last bit. If you've never created a website before, it is humbling. Now, yeah, you do your cookie cutter websites and all that, but not the website I did because I don't have an author website. I have a company website, so it's very different. It's not just my face up there and buy my book and here's a little bit about me. No, it's actually a whole company page. Um, and what's weird is that you build the pages on your desktop, but then you realize most people are going to look at the website on their phones. So then when I went back to go check the phone version of the website, whew, it was a lot. It's a lot. And I'm telling you this right now. Um, in the future, I'm hiring a professional to do that one. And it's crazy because I had professionals do everything else. But the website creation, that was a little too much money. And I was like, nah. We got this. We got this. So anyway, yeah. Thank you for being here with me today. Like I said, hi, hey, ciao. This was just the introduction version, and as we get through the next episode is going to be about the rap game and the publishing game, and how the two are actually the same thing, and even how banking coincides into this industry. And after that, then the fun begins because by then we start talking about the book. Yeah, and then once the book is released, we get into the chapter breakdowns because I'm doing it basically director's commentary style, and we're going to talk about these characters and we're going to get into it. Um, man, I can't wait for y'all to read the full series. It's crazy. And the first book takes place here in Malmö, Sweden, and yeah, stay tuned for me to release the what's it called, the pre-sale date, and then the full date is going to come out later. So follow me on IG at the author Nixon. You can follow me on TikTok as well, also at the author Nixon. Follow me on YouTube at House of NIXON, and go to my website houseofnixon.com, and just keep up with what we're doing, and understand that I'm not just an author. I'm a storyteller in all that we do, whatever medium that may be. Storyteller, bold stories, cinematic vision. That's what we stand for. So, thank you all for who was here tonight. And yeah, I see you guys again for episode 2. Ciao.